Science fiction has long served as both mirror and telescope, reflecting our present anxieties while peering into possible futures. The genre's most visionary works don't merely entertain, they illuminate potential pathways of technological and social evolution with remarkable prescience. Many technological innovations we now take for granted were first conceptualized in the imaginations of authors who asked one simple question: what if? This comprehensive analysis examines 7 landmark science fiction novels whose predictive elements have transitioned from speculation to reality, creating an unsettling sense of déjà vu for contemporary readers. Literary Prophecies, From Fiction to Reality. Science fiction operates at the intersection of scientific possibility and human imagination, extrapolating from existing technologies and social trends to envision future developments. The most successful predictions arise not from random guesswork, but from authors' careful observation of nascent technologies, emerging social patterns, and fundamental aspects of human nature. Through this analytical lens, certain visionaries manage to anticipate transformative technologies decades before their emergence, providing both warning and inspiration for generations of readers, engineers, and scientists. What makes these literary forecasts particularly compelling is not just their technical accuracy, but their insight into how humanity might adapt, resist, or surrender to technological change. While engineers and scientists developed the actual technologies, these authors anticipated how such innovations would reshape human relationships, social structures, and psychological experiences. Their narratives serve as both cautionary tales and roadmaps, inviting us to consider not just what technologies we can create, but what world we wish to build around them. Orwell's Surveillance State, 1984 and Modern Privacy. George Orwell's dystopian masterpiece 1984, published in 1949, envisioned a society where citizens endured constant monitoring through omnipresent telescreens that simultaneously broadcasted propaganda and recorded every word and movement. Writing during the early Cold War period, Orwell extrapolated from totalitarian surveillance systems he had observed firsthand, creating the archetypal surveillance state that introduced Big Brother into our cultural lexicon. The parallels between Orwell's fictional surveillance apparatus and our contemporary reality are striking, yet distinct in crucial ways. Today's surveillance cameras monitor public spaces globally, digital assistants listen attentively in our homes, and online platforms meticulously track our preferences, conversations, and physical movements. Facial recognition technology can now identify individuals within crowds, while location tracking has become standard on mobile devices we carry everywhere. Technological developments that align with Orwell's vision in function, if not form. What Orwell failed to anticipate, however, was the voluntary nature of modern surveillance. Unlike Winston Smith and his contemporaries who suffered under imposed monitoring, modern citizens actively purchase, install, and engage with technologies that track their activities. We consistently trade privacy for convenience, entertainment, and connection, a psychological bargain Orwell never envisioned. Additionally, today's surveillance ecosystem is fragmented across numerous commercial entities and government organizations rather than consolidated under one controlling authority, creating a monitoring apparatus both more pervasive and less obvious than Orwell's monolithic vision. Huxley's Chemical Paradise, Brave New World, and the Distraction Economy. While Orwell feared control through pain and surveillance, Aldous Huxley's 1932 novel Brave New World anticipated something potentially more insidious: social control through pleasure and engineered contentment. Writing during the early consumer age as mass entertainment was becoming widely accessible, Huxley observed how effectively people could be managed through distraction rather than force, a subtler form of social control that resonates powerfully with contemporary digital culture. Huxley's dystopia maintained stability through engineered satisfaction, endless entertainment options, and mood-altering substances. Today's recommendation algorithms deliver countless entertainment options tailored to individual preferences, while digital platforms employ sophisticated engagement mechanics designed to maximize time spent and interaction. Streaming services offer seemingly unlimited content, while mobile applications utilize advanced psychological techniques to maintain user attention and engagement in ways that mirror Huxley's fictional Soma, though our reality involves a more complex and medicalized approach than his simplified happiness pill. Where Huxley's vision falls short is in its underestimation of human resistance to engineered contentment. Although we readily embrace entertainment technologies, we've also witnessed growing movements advocating digital minimalism, mindfulness practices, and authentic experiences detached from screens. Furthermore, Huxley didn't anticipate how information abundance would generate anxiety rather than satisfaction for many individuals. Instead of producing a uniformly pacified population, our entertainment ecosystem has paradoxically contributed to increasing polarization and discontent despite unprecedented access to diversions and escapism. Gibson's Digital Frontier, Neuromancer, and the Birth of Cyberspace. William Gibson's groundbreaking 1984 novel, Neuromancer, introduced the term cyberspace and conceptualized a global digital network where users mentally projected themselves into what he called a consensual hallucination of pure data. What makes this prediction particularly remarkable is that Gibson wrote during the nascent personal computing revolution, before the World Wide Web existed in any meaningful form, extrapolating from rudimentary arcade games and primitive networking technology to envision our interconnected digital ecosystem. Today's internet infrastructure, virtual reality platforms, and digital economies mirror Gibson's cyberspace in remarkable ways. Online identities, cryptocurrencies, and digital assets have created parallel worlds of value and interaction just as he envisioned. Additionally, hackers, cybersecurity systems, and information warfare all exist in forms Gibson anticipated with uncanny accuracy. His portrayal of powerful global entities controlling technology and transcending traditional borders proved especially prescient, as many modern tech organizations now wield influence rivaling traditional governmental structures. However, Gibson's vision wasn't perfect in all aspects. He imagined cyberspace primarily as a visual, fully immersive experience accessed through direct neural connections. While virtual reality technology continues advancing, most digital interaction remains screen-based rather than the fully immersive jacking-in experience described in the novel. The book also overestimated the lawlessness of digital environments. Although underground networks certainly exist, the majority of online activity occurs within highly regulated platforms rather than the anarchic digital frontier that Gibson portrayed so vividly. Stevenson's Virtual Reality, Snow Crash, and the Metaverse. Neal Stephenson's influential 1992 novel Snow Crash popularized the concept of the metaverse, a persistent virtual reality where people interact through customizable digital avatars. This alternate digital dimension exists alongside physical reality, functioning simultaneously as escapist playground, commercial marketplace, and social environment. Stevenson developed this concept when the internet was just becoming publicly accessible, combining existing technologies with imaginative extrapolation to create a detailed vision of virtual interaction and identity. Today's multiplayer virtual environments, massive online games, and digital meeting spaces clearly reflect Stevenson's metaverse concept. Users now routinely create personalized avatars, purchase virtual property, and form communities within persistent online spaces exactly as described in the novel. Digital economies have emerged allowing for the creation, purchase, and exchange of virtual goods with genuine real-world value. Significant investment in immersive technologies demonstrates how Stevenson's vision continues influencing technological development 3 decades later, with organizations actively building increasingly sophisticated platforms for virtual interaction and commerce. What separates Stevenson's vision from our current reality is primarily the fragmentation of virtual spaces. Stevenson portrayed the metaverse as a single, unified virtual environment, essentially a digital street that everyone accesses through identical protocols, regardless of their physical location. Today's virtual worlds remain fragmented across competing platforms, games, and applications without the seamless interoperability imagined in the novel. Additionally, Snow Crash depicted the metaverse as central to daily life for most citizens. While online interaction has become ubiquitous, fully immersive virtual worlds remain a relatively niche interest rather than the mainstream necessity portrayed in Stevenson's vision. King's pandemic foresight, The Stand and Global Contagion. Stephen King's 1978 epic novel, The Stand, portrayed a world devastated by a highly contagious pandemic called Captain Trips. The story follows survivors navigating a collapsed society where infrastructure, government systems, and daily routines have been utterly transformed by mass death. King wrote this during a period of growing environmental awareness and concern about biological weapons, drawing on Cold War fears and medical knowledge available at the time. In recent years, we've experienced firsthand how quickly a novel pathogen can circumnavigate the globe. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed many societal responses King anticipated: panic buying, misinformation spread, overwhelmed medical systems, and rapid social reorganization. The novel also depicted how isolation and fear drive people toward both extremes of human behavior: extraordinary compassion and dangerous tribalism. Social dynamics that manifested during the actual pandemic. Where King's pandemic vision missed the mark was in the severity and societal resilience. King portrayed a much deadlier disease with near-total societal collapse, whereas our real-world experience showed greater resilience in digital infrastructure, allowing many aspects of society to continue functioning remotely. Additionally, he underestimated the speed of vaccine development and the role of instantaneous global communication in pandemic response. Our scientific capability proved more advanced than his pre-internet imagination could have foreseen, enabling a more coordinated and technologically sophisticated response than the fragmented efforts depicted in his novel. Bacigalupi's environmental warning, The Water Knife and Resource Scarcity. Paolo Bacigalupi's 2015 novel, The Water Knife, depicts a near-future southwestern United States devastated by water shortages. States battle over dwindling Colorado River resources, while refugees from drought-stricken regions seek survival in slightly more habitable areas. Bacigalupi wrote this during California's historic drought, extrapolating from existing water rights conflicts and climate science projections to create a plausible environmental dystopia. Today, water scarcity has indeed become a defining crisis in many regions. Water rationing, depleted aquifers, and legal battles over river rights have become increasingly common, particularly in the American Southwest. The Colorado River Compact faces unprecedented strain as reservoirs reach historic lows, mirroring key elements of Bacigalupi's fictional crisis. The novel's portrayal of climate refugees and water-secure architectural innovations has proven particularly prescient, as millions already relocate due to environmental changes and water availability concerns. While the novel depicts water scarcity with disturbing accuracy, it underestimated technological adaptation in desalination and water recycling. Innovations in water purification have progressed faster than anticipated, offering potential solutions that weren't fully explored in Bacigalupi's narrative. The book also portrayed more violent conflict than we've yet seen, though increasing tensions over water resources suggest this aspect might simply be premature rather than incorrect as climate change intensifies pressure on water resources globally. Vonnegut's automated workforce, player piano and technological displacement. Kurt Vonnegut's 1952 debut novel, Player Piano, envisioned a society where automation and artificial intelligence have replaced most human workers. In this world, only engineers, managers, and a few specialized professionals remain employed, while the majority of humanity exists in purposeless consumption. Vonnegut wrote this shortly after working at General Electric, witnessing early industrial automation firsthand and extrapolating from assembly line mechanization to imagine complete workforce transformation. Today's accelerating automation bears striking similarities to Vonnegut's vision. Self-checkout systems, automated manufacturing, algorithmic content creation, and artificial intelligence are systematically replacing human roles across industries. Even creative and intellectual work faces disruption from increasingly sophisticated AI systems. The novel's depiction of social stratification between technical elites and the economically displaced resonates with growing wealth inequality driven by technological transformation. What Vonnegut didn't fully anticipate was the nature of automation's impact. He imagined automation primarily in industrial settings rather than in information processing and creative work. Today's AI revolution is disrupting white-collar professions faster than many blue-collar ones, inverting the expected pattern of technological displacement. The novel also missed how the digital gig economy would create new forms of precarious work rather than complete unemployment. Instead of pure leisure, many displaced workers find themselves in less stable employment situations, creating a more complex socioeconomic landscape than Vonnegut's binary of employed engineers versus unemployed masses. Beyond the seven, notable literary prophecies. While our primary focus remains on the 7 novels detailed above, several other remarkable works deserve recognition for their prescient visions. E.M. Forster's short story, The Machine Stops, 1909, imagined humanity living in isolated chambers, communicating exclusively through screen-based technology while rarely leaving their rooms. Written over a century ago when electricity itself remained a relatively new phenomenon, Forster anticipated remote work, video communication, and digital dependency with remarkable foresight. Ray Bradbury's 1953 classic Fahrenheit 451 ostensibly focused on book burning, but its most accurate prediction concerned how shortened attention spans and constant entertainment would fundamentally transform society. Bradbury foresaw wall-sized screens delivering personalized content, earbuds, his seashells, providing continuous audio stimulation and interactive media gradually replacing thoughtful engagement with ideas. What Bradbury didn't anticipate was how digital technology would actually increase overall text consumption, albeit in different formats than traditional physical books. Margaret Atwood's 2003 novel Oryx and Crake examined a world transformed by genetic engineering technologies, where corporations create hybrid animals and designer humans for commercial purposes. Her Pigoons, pigs engineered with human tissue for organ harvesting, anticipated actual experiments with human-animal chimeras and gene editing capabilities that continue advancing today. While Atwood's timeline proved somewhat accelerated compared to reality, her fundamental ethical questions about biological manipulation remain increasingly relevant as these technologies continue developing and approaching mainstream application. The Dialectic of Fiction and Reality. These 7 novels demonstrate the remarkable predictive capacity of thoughtful science fiction, but also reveal the inevitable limitations of literary forecasting. Authors extrapolated from technologies and social trends of their respective eras, sometimes with astonishing accuracy, yet they couldn't anticipate every twist in humanity's complex technological journey. The missing elements in their predictions often reveal as much about our technological development as the aspects they correctly anticipated. Perhaps the most significant insight is that fiction doesn't merely predict the future, it actively helps shape it. Many technologies we use daily were directly inspired by these very novels, created by engineers and developers who encountered these ideas as impressionable young readers. From the metaverse to cyberspace, from genetic engineering to artificial intelligence, science fiction concepts have provided both inspiration and caution for technological innovators. This reciprocal relationship between imagination and innovation continues today as contemporary science fiction explores artificial consciousness, climate adaptation, and biotechnological frontiers that may similarly influence future development. What science fiction narratives being written today might anticipate our world 30 years from now? And more importantly, which warnings embedded within contemporary fiction should we be heeding before they materialize in our shared reality? As we navigate unprecedented technological change, these questions take on increasing urgency. The most valuable function of science fiction may not be prediction but preparation, helping us consider potential consequences before they arrive, and guiding us toward more thoughtful engagement with the technologies reshaping our world.